Welcome, my beautiful souls. This is going to be our Libra reading for March 2025. This is going to be for Libra Sun, Moon, Rising. Definitely those intuitively guided. Thank you for paying attention to your intuition. I feel like, that comes from your guides also because they're the ones who are sending you messages, signs, guidance. Remember, you weren't thrown down here alone. You have a whole spiritual team behind you. Um, and that's really who I read through. Some of you could certainly be in love with a Libra, platonically, romantically. Many of you know I have a lot of Libra love in my life, um, platonically, starting with my nephew Sean, who is right on that cusp of Virgo and Libra. He is the 24th of September. But he doesn't like to be called Virgo. It's interesting because Sam, my boyfriend's on the other side. He's on the cusp of Leo and Virgo, and he is a Virgo. Though he says, I think I'm a Leo. It's like, why does nobody want to be a Virgo around here? But anyway, so my beautiful granddaughter Lily, who is super talented. They're all super talented, actually. Especially in like the musical realm. Sean and Lily can both pick up any instrument and just play it. Um, they both have like fantastic singing voices, so a lot of creativity within Libra's energy for sure. My sister Tracy, Sean's mom, who has crossed over October 15th, and I always feel her energy in our readings. Um, she's part of my spiritual team, and again, why not use their wisdom? So, anyways, I just did a promo where I was shooting for a company, and these are, oh my gosh, I knew I'd forget the name. Strawberry, I think rose quartz. But there's a special quality to them. They attract love. So I thought, well, I'm going to wear it in your reading. But if you don't want to attract love, then I should hide it. So anyway, we'll see. Um, I feel like this month I feel like you're going to have some ups and downs, but I feel like you have a lot more control over it than you think. Like, certain planets are going in retrograde, and I feel like it can either let's talk about romance for a second. With Venus going into retrograde, can certainly bring back old lovers. Um, it can be a very romantic time, but I feel then there's the opposite side of, do I allow, am I carrying old, heavy emotions? So I feel like I'm either going to flow with it or there's going to be resistance. Mercury also going retrograde, think about your thoughts, what you're saying. Um, don't take things too emotional because everyone's dealing with that same energy. Um, I feel like that's just the best way to get through your month. I really feel like this month is about you building your life, the way that you see it. And that may take some serious steps, It could be using the universal year 9 energy, which is like that final push. What's got to go? What's holding me back? Am I holding myself back? So, reflection. But this is reflection so that you can have growth. All right. I've been holding the Moldavite. All right. So, I brought out the romance angels in case love comes up. We're going to use the major arcanas. The Emperor didn't want to come up. Part of Aries, father figure. Some of you, this could be a father figure who is a guide. Um, it definitely felt like it wants to be seen, known. Emperor, the leader of the people. Could just be the leader of the family, though. And I don't know why, but the first thing I felt was that was it. It was a guide. It can mean different things to different people, of course. Trust your own intuition. We have the Gilded Tarot to clarify or go deeper. I brought back this recipe box. It was just part of my, it was my great grandma's to my grandma, to my grandma, to my mom, to my mom, to my sister, and now to me. And because I really don't have any recipes, I put my cards, this was a long time ago, but I put my cards in it one day and I'm like, well, this is perfect. And I feel like it just allows all my ancestors to be part of our reading. So, I'm going to pull on everything for you of the light. Mother Mary for her beautiful words of wisdom. And I'm doing opposite signs again this month. And what I mean by that is I'm doing like Aries is your opposite. So Aries and then Libra and then Scorpio and then Taurus. And the reason why I'm doing it is I feel like there's so much we can learn from our opposite sign. That's what I've been finding. Um, as I go through the readings, I can see the synchronicities, but some of it could just be energetic, like energy that would serve for you to take on, like being bold and maybe ambitious this month. All right. And let's just take one moment, just relax, calm our minds. It's a great time to ask your guides to give you signs of confirmation. It could be a number, a name. Um, I find myself saying silly little things all the time, and I used to censor myself, and now I know that there's someone's word of confirmation. Uh, okay. Hmm. Inner child. Inner child. I nurture the child within me through playfulness and self care. That was another thing I was going to tell you. Your health for March. I feel like it could be of a concern, but I feel like it would be like if I'm not, like, I feel like I have to learn how to deal with stress. I feel like it's things that you can learn how to deal with. Um, and maybe it means like allowing yourself to be playful and not like super serious this month. I mean, that feels good. Feels good that your playful side's being called into action. All right, I'm going to bring the lid down and let's bring out the major arcanas. Give them a shuffle or two. Anyone who's new, first of all, welcome aboard. Um, Welcome to everyone, but those who are new, everything is always pre-shuffled. I want to make sure the deck was in the upright, but I do like to shuffle it with you here. So I use these as like bullet points. Okay, well, we're gonna take, let's face up. All right, so we start with the devil, card of Capricorn. Can certainly talk about temptations. Interesting that justice came in reverse, and I don't normally take these in reverse, but it kind of feels that way. So I'm going to leave it in reverse. That is your major arcana. We have the Empress. Interesting how we saw the Emperor in the beginning. And then the Death card. I have to say, it feels like there's just something that needs to be. I feel like there's an energy that tends to pull you back that may not be, may not help you create a bounty that I feel you want to create. In a way, I feel like it shuts down your creativity. Where normally I feel Libra's creativity just flows or should flow. Um, and you given that sort of justice, but yet not using it. Um, but maybe some of you have, because, the death card talks about closing a door, right? Ending a situation. It's mirroring the devil. The devil can certainly cast illusionary energy, make me feel stuck or keep pulling me back to certain temptations. Um, but because the Empress is here, I feel like this is saying that for some of you, I feel like you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you've had that realization. I feel like if nothing else, it's just asking yourself, is there something that keeps pulling me back that isn't helping to create the life I want to create? This is the year to really do that reflection. You could ask yourself, do you feel balanced or do you not feel balanced? If you don't feel balanced, what is this that's keeping you unbalanced? You got to be honest and truthful with yourself. Um, the death card doesn't represent a rebirth. It feels like the rebirth of you. Okay, well, let's bring in the light seers, and I am using the same decks for the opposite sides. Okay, we have the Hermit. Well, we're in the year of the Hermit. We have the King of Wands. Hermit is card of Virgo, but we're in the universal year 9, which is represented by the Hermit. So, final reflection, closing of a cycle, brand new cycles opening up. This is the end of a 9-year cycle this year. So, 2026 will be the year of the Magician. The High Priestess, your intuition, trusting that above all. It's interesting because I do feel like for a period of time, it just feels like your mind felt cloudy, your thoughts, your intuition, like I feel like you just didn't feel balanced, and therefore you're having a hard time even connecting. Um, I feel like your guides were connecting, you just had a hard time picking it up. I feel like also this is the energy of like really being honest and truthful with oneself, because the hermit is shining the beacon of light, which means the wisdom outwardly. And then the high priestess would definitely pick up on that. Hmm. Five of Pentacles. It almost makes me feel now. Well, I mean, this could talk about a job, it could talk about a relationship, or just maybe someone I was interested in. Because the Five of Pentacles really feels like a tower moment. It's something that happens outside of your control. It is change, but I may not have asked for this change. But maybe on a human level, I didn't ask for this change. But maybe on a spiritual level, I knew this change had to happen. Because I do feel like there's this need to just be truthful. Um, and, just think about like the things that tempt you that stop your growth. And even if it's a person, and let's say this person, well, they could have gone quiet, they could have thrown you a tower, someone could have asked mm, for a divorce, but it's not what you wanted. But, here's the thing, I could go on and on and on, but I feel like, and I know some people are not going to like this, but I feel like it's putting you on this path, on this spiritual path. And I feel like once you overcome the Five of Pentacles, you yourself become much more soulful. By the way, I love this image here because this is someone who's I'm still focusing on that tower moment. Maybe I think that's it. That's the end. Nothing left. I should just give up. Here's this beautiful key. Look how big it is. That unlocks this big, big door. And that is your next chapter. So remember, the empress lives in the present moment. It's one of the things she's learned. She's been through it. She's been through these Five of Pentacles probably more than once. Because this is about her collective wisdom of, her lessons within a lifetime. The hermit I feel like is really a wise old soul, but it may take something that brings me to my knees before I realize that, especially if I'm seeking the light, I'm seeking like a savior. Well, this would represent that you are your own savior. The Five of Pentacles, temporarily, it is difficult energy. And I would assume the more I allow myself to just, don't get mad at me, but kind of like wallow in the pain. Um, and it's not that, you don't have every right to, but there is this new door. There is the key right there. The death card, that's exactly what it talks about. It is transformation. So, it feels like it does work out in your favor. It's just, we got to get you past this point. When I say you're your own savior in the hermit, I want you to understand that, yes, your spiritual team is there. They're helping you, but this is about you coming out the other end so much wiser, stronger. It's like if someone would have done that work for you, well, then I feel like you'd always be on a weak foundation. But you go through the hermit's energy and you come out the other end, which just means, first of all, I feel like it is the realization that I'm a spiritual being having human experiences, which tells me there really isn't anything I can't overcome. It may seem it at the time, because that's what I feel this person feels like, but this is it. but it's not it. It's just the beginning of something else. But starting in the hermit's energy, you know, I feel like I'll trust anything that's going to follow that. I feel like the hermit has lived all the lifetimes of the life path 1 through 8. And I do feel like the hermit can decide, like, this may be the last time I choose to, like, be born on Earth again, have another lifetime. So this may be a lifetime where I really am seeking wisdom, real spiritual wisdom. And I have to tell you, that usually comes through some difficult experiences. But the Empress is here. And that tells me, and I already know, that this is about you overcoming. This is about you reconnecting, clear away those cobwebs. Even if you're going through some pain, know that, time will be your healer. There will be more, but again, the death card, closing of a door. Feels like that door needed to close, to be honest. Um, moment of suffering, and to each their own. It's going to take different people, different amounts of time. But ultimately, because it's connected to the Empress, I feel like I'm going to come out stronger than I've ever been. And let's remember, the Empress isn't about closing your heart down. It's not about being rude. I know it all. No, she's loving. She's nurturing. She is also a leader of the people. But she does it more through a creative energy. She got this beautiful bounty on her lap. I feel like, and the thing with the Empress is, I do feel like she's walked the path of every queen, but has extracted that wisdom. And that's her courage, that's her power. So she can be gentle as a lamb, but she can roar like a tiger or a lion. But I don't feel like she'll roar unless she needs to. Okay, but anyway, let's keep going. We have the Hangman. We have the Six of Pentacles. It's a fine art of give and take. The Six of Pentacles it's really someone who's compassionate and empathetic and enjoys giving. It makes me feel good to give. And I don't always give, so I receive. But this is really finding that balance. And again, some of you may feel a little unbalanced. So giving and receiving, is it, let's say whatever happened in this Five of Pentacles, was it fair anyway? Was it fair anyway? And if this has anything to do about a relationship, I feel like there's a giver, there's a taker. And yes, someone could give, but I feel like it's more, it just feels like something didn't work out the way that I had hoped. But I feel like that's because there's something else. Now, you do have free will, right? So you can keep going back to the same old, same old. I think what you want to ask yourself, though, is if you have been doing that, has anything changed? And take that as your answer. If the answer is no, like, nah, not really. The hangman under the death card next to the five of pentacles, it definitely feels like some resistance to closing a door. Maybe I just want to hang in there a little longer. Again, to each their own. The hangman is seeking wisdom to use on this physical plane. It is mirroring the hermit. So I feel like ultimately receiving that wisdom, but maybe part of it is also your own truth. Are things fair and balanced in your life? And if they're not, can they be? And what do you have to do to allow that to happen? I feel like one of the things is merely put the past in the past. If you've tried something over and over and you keep getting the same results, especially because I feel like what happens to you is it clouds your mind, it clouds your creativity. And it's like, I don't want that to happen. All right, let's keep going. I feel like this king who is sitting next to the hermit and has the high priestess, interesting. I feel like he's waiting to come in. I feel like I do feel like he's being patient, even as this is really energy of action, right? King and Queen of Wands are action oriented, passion oriented. But yet he feels like he's like just waiting. Maybe you don't know who this person is yet. It doesn't feel work related because it feels like he looks very casual. He's got a t-shirt and jeans on. So it doesn't feel like this is someone who's going to relate to my career. Right now, he feels like a really good friend. All right. We have the two swords that came in reverse. So someone took a blindfold off. I mean, that's probably the best news we could have right now. So I feel like what that means is those who are kind of stuck within that Five of Pentacles energy. Again, it's like trying to overcome something that happened, right? But yet, I don't feel we have the luxury in the Five of Pentacles of waiting too long before we have to make some type of movement. Now, that could be financially, um, or just who you are. So, again, I feel like you lifted your head, you saw that key, and you unlocked the door. Unlocking that door turns the hangman around, which is a spiritual awakening, and is mirroring the hermit. It makes sense. Some of you are having a spiritual awakening this month. And let me tell you, one of the first things with the spiritual awakening is truth. Like truth, and you know it. Like it's truth that you just know within you. It's your own truth, but it's other people's truths. This is you moving forward. This makes me happy. This is you being just honest. This is you finding that wisdom you've been looking for. And I feel like it's been within you all along. Look at this. Now justice is in the upright. It's almost like first and foremost, it feels like Libra just became balanced. Where there was unbalanced, it's like now she's balanced. Now he's balanced. It's also interesting that in this card, it looks like one's higher self seeing you on this earthly plane, helping you out, guiding you, connected right to the high priestess. It's like you clearly know now, especially if you've gone through the hermit's energy and you decided to use that key, unlock that door. I feel like that's just the beginning of this spiritual awakening. You're very honest with yourself. You now know, like, what I got to use this sword on. And again, it can be a person, it could be your thoughts. It's about making you feel whole again, the way you're meant to feel. You know, justice is perfect for you because you do care about your fellow man and woman. You do care about what's fair and just in the world. And when things are not balanced, you take that on. Um, and I'm not going to say don't take it on, but I feel like you can take it on and then balance that. It's almost like we should give you the world's problems because I feel like you would figure them out. But I have to say, the most beautiful thing here is I feel like you are now listening to your true wisdom. Like it literally feels like the energy just changed. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Interesting. So it's right below the Five of Pentacles. So let's say you had the Ten of Pentacles, and then this Tower moment happened. Whether it again be job related, because it can talk about your money. Um, whether someone just walked out, whatever happened, I feel like, it probably also affected your money in a way. But look at you now recouping more than you had, more than you had. And I love the Empress mirroring the Ten of Pentacles, the House of Abundance. Wow, I've been saying all along how I really noticed the bounty on her lap. Fruitful. And where does that come from? Her creativity, trusting within herself. I feel like the Empress is a natural healer, but I feel if you've gone through the Hermit's energy, again, probably brought to your knees for some reason, but then you come out the other end stronger than you ever been. Wow, I feel like the way God uses us is for us then to help others. Now, I feel like it happens naturally, but this is beautiful energy if someone is working from home. I mean, abundance. No wonder you needed to open that door. Hmm. As it was always meant to be. Seven of Pentacles. This is your tree of life. These are the pentacles or the seeds that you have planted. Interesting how you don't normally see the actual plant, the actual blossom. There it is. Seven of Pentacles, first message is patience. It's like you plant that seed, but you're not going to just stare at it. You are going to nurture your garden. I feel like March, the theme is our gardens. Like, are we nurturing our gardens, whether that is literal or not? That just feels like the theme already. So, Seven of Pentacles, it's talking about certain seeds that are becoming ripe, ripe for the picking. But I also feel like when we see the Seven of Pentacles, what we want to understand is some of these experiences, because that's what all, usually you see a tree and all these pentacles, which I feel like are your soul seeds of intention. But I do feel like it also speaks about the hard times because I feel like it is the hard times that that helped us evolve more than anything. You had to go through it. You had to take some time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't feel like there's any judgment on the table. It's just like whenever you're ready to unlock that door, then you unlock that door. I don't know if I could ask for a better card to come out right now. So, you know, you're seeing the fruits of your labor. Six of Pentacles over here, mirroring the Seven of Pentacles. This could be where you're beginning, right? You're planting those seeds, and now you're seeing the blossom, which is connected to the Ten of Pentacles, by the way. And I have to say, in the Ten of Pentacles or the Ten of Cups, I often don't feel you're alone. I feel like it's time to bring this bracelet out a little bit more. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. The Nine of Cups. Inner harmony. Inner harmony. It feels like the way it was meant to be. The way it can be. This is really, I'm going to say loving one's life. It doesn't mean everything is perfect. Um, some of you, I feel like you became single. And maybe at first it was hard, but now it's like, okay, wait a minute. I've been looking at this the wrong way. Because again, I feel like if it has anything to do with the relationship, I feel like it's energy that just kept pulling you back. And we have to think about that with Venus in retrograde also. Be careful that you don't get pulled back to energy you just know, well, that'll just put you in the same place because here's the opportunity really for this beautiful inner harmony, but it's also about fulfillment of wishes. Look at that, the sun underneath that. Wow. I mean, that is nourishing your garden. And I almost feel like you're celebrating that. And why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? It's definitely showing you doing the work. So why shouldn't you celebrate that? You should. Celebrate yourself. You're being celebrated above. So allow yourself to feel that. Feel their joy. That joy is for you. It's like we've been there in the hard times, and we're there celebrating in the good times. Okay. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is about standing your ground. Coming over the Hermit. A lot of times you'll see this like someone defending off attacks, but this person looks pretty calm. It's almost like, you know what it feels like to me? It feels like one of your spiritual teams is guarding a door, your door. Like, no, This is Libras. Back up. That's what it feels like. Has nothing to do with the meaning of the card. I know that. But I'm telling you, I feel like your guides are protecting really what's meant for you. Interesting again that we saw the sun under the Nine of Cups, and it definitely looks like that doorway. In that door, it's like the sun is out, right? It's illuminated, but it's meant for you. Think of it this way. It feels like someone who maybe did know you in this lifetime, um, but don't think your guides had to have lived this life with you. That's why this box to me means so much because it comes from my ancestors. You know what I mean? And I didn't know. I didn't know the majority of them, but I know their energy is here. Hello, Ace of Pentacles. Well, this is why I felt this king was being patient, where this is normally someone who is in action. This is definitely someone who goes after their dreams. Ace of Pentacles means that, first of all, one of these pentacles, one of these wishes are now coming into your physical world. Wow. Why? Because you're ready. Because you took that blindfold off. That means the universe knows that you'll take this seed and you'll nurture it through the Empress's energy. You'll make sure that it grows and it blossoms. I never feel it's a one time thing, but it does feel like, I don't know, like this king is literally coming into your life. The Knight of Wands, well, there's his energy. It's almost like this knight has been waiting, or this king has been waiting patiently, patiently. But now I feel like is being instructed, guided to now come into your life. Now, what does this king carry? Well, here's the passion through the Knight of Wands, desirable energy. Oh, excuse me. I forgot I brought the phone in. Okay. So anyways, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands can also be fast moving energy. So again, I feel like this king has been patient and it's like he's given the green light and he is off to the races. We have, interesting, we have the Five of Pentacles over, or the Five of Wands over the Five of Pentacles. And then we have the Page of Cups, which is exactly what Mother Mary brought out, the inner child, right? I nurture the child within through playfulness and self care. Do I feel like this king is the one who's bringing in his Five of Wands? I kind of don't, because I'm not feeling like, well, I guess look at it this way. If this is someone who's returning, the Five of Wands is a lot of drama. It's a lot of ego. It's definitely fighting. Um, so if that happens, then that seems to be old energy that maybe now I really see it. But I'm just not really feeling that. So let's keep going. We have the Ace of Swords, communication. This is truthful communication. It's coming over to Six of Pentacles. Hmm. Two aces. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Hierophant, card of Taurus. And then, wow, Judgment, your spiritual team. Right over the Seven of Pentacles. So first of all, Judgment means that you're being called to the present moment. So these fives up here, you definitely, this is the time to make that decision, or the time has already come. And maybe for some of you, it's like old energy that I can't seem to get beyond. But I feel like this is help to get you beyond. There's definitely communication. And I do feel like some of this communication is your guides. Like, I feel like your mind, like you're opening your intuition again, because I do feel like it was closed down for a bit. I love the Page of Swords coming out because, again, like your inner child, that is like the younger you. Interesting is coming under this king. All right, I'm going to go right below it though. So I also noticed that Hierophant, which is about your beliefs, like, are you living life according to your terms, your morals? It's just asking you to question that. But it's interesting how it's coming over these two fives. This is about using our light energy. This here is definitely dark. Doesn't mean you're being dark. It just means that the energy feels dark. Dang it. But I feel like you can change that. You just got to believe that. I love the Hierophant also coming over the Ten of Pentacles. I can't help but think some of you are working from home, or you're creating, let's say, from home. The Judgment here over the Seven of Pentacles, where literally it talks about a seed, and here it is over this king coming to fruition. Well, they want your attention. So, High Priestess again. Definitely your intuition is being called upon. Temperance. So we have another energy that speaks of patience first. But this is about trusting in divine timing. That's the meaning of the card. Like, especially the things that you cannot control, you hand them over. Like, I can't control, this or that, so I'm going to hand it over and let divine take care of it. This is also trusting in divine timing. Again, these two aces are coming in for you. And now, I mean, we have a lot of divine energy on the board, but now we literally have your spiritual team along with Temperance, who is all about divine timing. And then connecting that to your intuition. Boy, do I feel like you're being guided. But then I also feel like this ace could be some type of communication that comes in. It's almost like you're being recognized for that compassionate and empathetic side of you. And maybe the recognition is coming from above, but nonetheless, I feel like it's bringing some blessings about. Look who just jumped right next to Temperance, King of Wands. Now, does that mean it has to be um, fire sign? It doesn't. But it could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Um, but it is like Temperance, who really again is the controller of divine timing, is also talking to this king. Three of Cups, celebration, joy. It's a three mirroring another three, the Empress. There's no one who is better in love than the Empress or the Emperor. And one of the main reasons is because they really have learned to not project like the last person's downfalls onto the next person, right? They give that person an opportunity to show them who they are. But again, it's a reason to celebrate. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Um, this is great energy for anyone who, some of this energy is talking about like a change in your jobs. But this is definitely energy of creating abundance for yourself. It just asks for you to focus upon it. This Ace of Pentacles may also help give you the way. You may just be inspired and you decide to follow that. It's interesting. It's like I can see you sitting in your office and just like lost within the materials that you're reading. Eight of Pentacles talks about the willingness to go into something as the apprentice, knowing that one day, with especially with the hermit here, you become that master teacher. Now, as it relates to love, if if this king is love, then it answers a question. So, how do I know this love uh, will blossom? First of all, it's around such beautiful energy, but the answer would be as long as you focus on it. And by the way, you can have your focus on more than one thing. So you can focus on love, but also focus on your own dreams. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's part of this reading is not shutting down like your dreams. Um, you know, going after the things that you want to go after. And there could have been people who told you, don't do it. It won't work. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But how do they know? Because this is telling me that you naturally carry that creative energy. I already know that about you. Um, but then it's like using, like, it feels like your money, even if I've gone through like losing some money for whatever the reason, I feel like your money comes back to you tenfold. But it is from your focus, from you. But it's seeing the fruits of your labor at the same time. Okay. I just want to look at this king. I mean, I like the temperance ushered this king in, and we keep getting the same king. Look at this. Huh. Interesting. We got the Six of Swords and the Ten of Swords in reverse. Hmm. Well, the first thing I want to say is this is allowing all these swords of the past to drop away, fall away, like you're not carrying it any longer. I feel like I want to go right in between them. We have the Nine of Wands, and then, I'm sorry, yeah, and then we have the Eight of Wands. So interesting because for some of you, this, okay, so this could be someone that you know, but here's what I would say because it could be someone that the relationship was a little hairy. But here's the thing, if that is the case, you need to be able to trust your own intuition because I do feel like for some of you, there is this there is this temptation to repeat something that you already know now. It will just return to the same type of energy. So that's first and foremost. But then I also feel like this king down here, which by the way could also be queen, um, I feel like this king is someone who also has gone through like deep reflections within their lives. You know, it feels someone who like realizes in my past, I've done things that maybe I wasn't so proud of. Um, but has that realization. So it does feel like someone who also had to overcome, but I feel like they do because the Nine of Wands to me is really knowing oneself. And it's really about being proud of who one is today. And then you have the Eight of Wands right next to it. So it can be what I think about it, bring about. Um, you know, I feel like the best thing I can say here is even though this is fast moving energy, it's also mirroring fast moving energy. You know, it's like I want to tell you just to slow it down. Okay, so I'm going to ask my guides. So, is this king? Is this someone that we should be looking forward to? Or is this someone who won't enhance our life? Interesting. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. This could be an ex. You know, the Five of Pentacles coming in reverse, it could certainly be someone's energy who has evolved. Again, I want to say, take it slow, right? Because I feel like you yourself have evolved, right? It feels like you're living more of your truth. I don't feel like you have any interest, I hope, in taking anyone into your life that it's just going to hurt you and cause you drama, like is drama filled. You know, someone who um, saying I'm sorry just doesn't really come out of their mouth. Now, could they evolve? Of course they can. If we can, so can they. But I definitely feel like they would have had some work to do. So I can't leave that off the table. Okay. So, anything else for this? Just this king. Three of Swords. Okay, so I'm a little worried about this king. You know, the interesting thing is the king is coming over justice. This definitely could be someone who is coming back. It definitely is showing me, like, first of all, you took all those swords in your back. They carried some toxic energy. They could have gone quiet on you. When you were speaking, I feel like there was a lot of drama involved. Ultimately, you got your heart broken. Now, can all this still evolve? It can. But man, I want to just say, take it slow. Again, think of the Empress. She does not lower her vibration to be with another. Someone wants to be with me. Well, then, baby, you got to raise your vibration. Otherwise, it just won't work. That's how confident she is. I've worked way too long to be who I am today to allow someone to come in and just assume they're going to take that all away from me. Can't. You're too powerful. You just have to feel that. So, okay. Okay. Well, I asked. Interesting how they all came in reverse. Well, not all of them, but most of them. Okay. Um, all right. Well, then tell me this Ace of Swords. We have the Devil and we have the Empress. I feel like that has to be Capricorn. Let's go right between the two of them with the Queen of Cups. So it's definitely energy that stirs your romantic feelings. And this queen has accepted a cup. She's got a cup in front of her. Let's follow that. There's that emperor. Hello, emperor and empress. Wow. There is your counterpart. Even feels like potential, like telepathic communication. The emperor would represent someone that we can look up to. And the queen is looking right at the emperor. But I can't help notice, even the empress is looking down at the emperor. The emperor's in the present moment energy. So is this empress. Just like judgment is asking for. I think we have two people. I think we have someone returning, which is probably due to Venus in retrograde. Um, some of you may think that's a good thing. I just say take your time. Let them reveal if they really have. Like, again, don't lower your vibration. Because maybe they have, maybe they have, like, really evolved. But if they haven't, you'll know that very quickly. You know, one of the problems with, um, like, our spiritual team is always sending us signs. They send us plenty of red flags, but often we ignore those red flags. But the Empress doesn't. She's like, wait a minute, here's a red flag. The Empress trusts her own energy. She knows that she's got, like we all do, this energetic field around us. So if lower vibrational energy tries to come in, all the red flags will go up. It's like the energetic field becomes electric. I think that's why you're seeing you're seeing the high priestess twice. Like really the need to pay attention to your own intuition. So let's just say, because I feel like we have two love stories going here. Let's not forget about your finances though. That's first and foremost. But then I feel like we do have one person coming back. I won't repeat everything I said. And then I feel like then we have the Empress and the Emperor over here. And it feels like they're coming together through some type of communication. Um, Temperance is like connecting everyone, like the mother and the father. Okay, let's not. Five of Swords, for some reason, didn't want to pick up five. So, change. But that does speak about, other people's toxic energy and how it affects us. And anytime you see a five, think, okay, it's asking for some type of change. What type of change is it looking for? And how would that help me? Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. I have a feeling this is an addiction to a person. And then we have very soon. Interesting. I feel like we're talking about both lovers, so to speak. I feel like one is a relationship that seems to keep coming back. Maybe you are codependent on each other. I'm just going to leave that as it says because it's exactly kind of what I felt. But then very soon, I feel like it's the Emperor and the Empress down here. It could certainly also be the King or Queen. Um, could be all of it. But clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Clearly. You remember how I kept saying, like, I felt like your mind, your intuition felt a little cloudy? And now our very last card says clearly, hmm, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Some of you, I feel like you may just want to look at the energy of codependency, and I guess what I have to say is if you're okay, then that's just the way it is. Um, and I feel like, let's say that someone from the past comes back and they claim their energy has changed, but you very quickly realize that it hasn't. Well, I feel like the sooner you close that door, you're not left out down here, but right now you're deciding the past versus what wants to come in very soon. And that's free will. That's free will. I don't know why. I feel like taking one more. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Again, Mother Mary. I nurture the child within me through playfulness and self care. Flirt. Have fun. That's what it feels like. Like, I'm either going to be in this worried state or I'm going to make these changes and I'm going to allow myself to feel free, and it doesn't even mean single, it just means feel free. Remember the Nine of Cups, inner harmony. I feel like that's the ticket. If you have inner harmony, I don't feel you'll let someone else come in and destroy that. And the Emperor and the Empress, you know, again, two energies that we really strive to be. So, and they're both very similar. They're both healers, you know, whether I do it for a living or whether it's just naturally, you know, I enter a room and people flock to me. Anyways, I like this, but I feel like this is one of those readings where I feel like I have to leave it up to you. Um, and so I shall. You know, don't let the part of the love that was difficult, don't let that ruin the rest of the reading for you. Because I feel like this reading really I feel like it's giving you a lot of signs that's gonna help bring you a lot of abundance. And maybe in all areas of your life, you know, this may be a month where you're claiming victory. All right, my loves, I think I'll let it be. I thank you as always. I love you. And I will see you next time at our table. Bye bye.